now, that gives us about half of the amount of time that it's going to need to talk to Stephen Wagerspack because once Stephen and I get rolling, we normally have a 14 to 15-minute segment. So I appreciate you, man. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I am doing very well. I asked Susan, I will ask you, at one point during the day, do you exhale?
I'll let you know when it happens,
Okay.
but it's
All
not
right.
right now.
Fair enough. Walk me through a little bit about what folks can expect for today.
Yeah, so it's going to be jam-packed affair here at Crown Plaza. We'll have about 1,000 plus, maybe close to 1,100 people here.
Okay.
Business leaders, elected officials, all the policymakers in the state here today. We'll spend the morning talking about what's the vision for Louisiana. We've got a panel that's going to talk about what's Louisiana's goal for going forward. Are we trying to compete with the rest of the South? Are we trying to gain market share? Are we trying to fix problems or just babysit problems? And we're going to have a discussion about the LA23 effort we're doing to try to get a detailed plan to make Louisiana be excellent. And then we'll roll into our lunch where we'll bring the governor's candidates on the stage one at a time. We'll ask them questions. We'll let them address the crowd, and we'll hear what they have to say.
So when you say asking them questions, that'll be you handling the questions?
That'll be me.
I mean, how does this compare? Because you've done interviews during this venue in the past. I mean, you've had Drew Brees.
Yeah.
How's this going to compare to like a Drew Brees or the woman who was the referee?
Sarah Thomas.
Yes. How's this stack up? I mean, is it a different vibe knowing you're talking to a different world?
Yeah, I don't think any of the governor's candidates can throw as well as Drew Brees. That's just my guess. But we'll maybe bring a football up there and figure it out.
You know, for what it's worth, I mean, John Bell Edwards would get out there at LSU practice and try to.
That's true. He put the jersey on and everything. He had that deep fade on that one video they sent over and over and over.
It wasn't intentionally a fade. It was a duck.
That's right. Well, I think it's going to be a different affair this time. Every year we try to bring a speaker that pushes people to think differently and kind of inspire them and give them new perspectives. And that's great. Today it's business.
Yeah.
Today, look, the business of the state is at hand. We are on the precipice of a fantastic moment in Louisiana history. Term limits mean you're going to have a new governor, new legislative leadership up and down. But what is the plan?
Right.
I care less about the names. I care more about the plan. Where are we going as a state? And that's what we're going to probe on the stage today.
So where are we going as a state when you back up and break it down? You said, are we competing against the South? I don't know that we're competing against the South. I mean, because where we're at right now with remote work, with the different industries and businesses that are here and can be here, we could just as easily be competing against Silicon Valley or the Eastern Seaboard based off of what it is we go after.
You're exactly right, but here's why I think we are competing against the South. Because the moment in time we're at, the South is booming. Coming out of COVID, families, businesses, individuals, they are leaving states like New York, California, Illinois. They're leaving those states, and they're moving south. Our neighbors are booming right now.
Okay.
We're missing it.
Okay.
And so we got to take advantage of this southern renaissance going on right now. We got to up our game. We got to figure out what those other states are doing and crack the code and beat them at their own game, and that's what we're trying to do.
So basically, and everything's a sports analogy with me. Basically, it's everything, every business that we're looking to attract, it's a recruiting game right now, and there's going to be a couple hats on the table with a Louisiana, a Tennessee, a Florida, a Texas, and we want to put on that Louisiana hat when it's all said and
the only
done.
way they'll pick our hat is if we hit a hole-in-one and score a three-pointer and spike the football after a touchdown right after we kick the winning goal.
I didn't think that could be overdone. Well done. Before we get to the gubernatorial candidates, which you had 4 on the slate today.
Yep.
Before we get to that, there is the morning session with Ted Abernathy, Stephen Moray, and Stephen Barnes.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Ted Abernathy's an interesting guy. He's from North Carolina, the Research Triangle. He's got a ton of experience in economic development over the years. There he is walking in right there. Look at that, man, right on cue. It's like Elvis walking in when he's called, man. And so, Ted's got a fantastic experience in economic development, and state chambers around the country have hired him over the years to do just what we're doing right now. Come in, give us the data that we need to see. Maybe not the data we want to see, but let us know where we stack with other states. Because if you're going to start talking about competition and plans to go and start beating the competition, first comes the reality check.
Yeah.
And Ted is going to today deliver the reality check and say where we stack up with other states, how far behind we are, for being honest, but also then we'll talk to the roadmap after that. So he's a great resource. He'll talk about that. Stephen Moray comes in right after that, and those that know Stephen, he used to be LED secretary here, LSU Foundation, well-versed guy, but now he runs Strata Network. It's the largest foundation in the country dealing with workforce development. He's going to talk about what are some of the strategies they are looking at and other states are looking at to fix workforce development, which is the top issue we have as a state.
Yeah, while Stephen's in town, I mean, there should be a push to just throw a pillowcase over his head, bring him into the state capitol, keep him there, maybe put him over on Main Street by y'all and just We'll tap him as a resource as regularly as needed.
Look, we just need that van that Will Ferrell and those guys
From
had.
old school?
Yeah, old
Yep.
school, and just go in and let's go get blue. Let's go get blue.
We're on that. We're thinking. Well, you made Steven really old.
He's my boy.
It's exactly.
You're my boy, Moray. You're my boy.
We need him back. We need him back on any level we can get to.
I love it.
So as the morning wears on, lunch is sold out.
Yeah,
lunch is sold out.
Now, if you want to come, look, I'm gonna jam you in there. My staff don't want to hear that, but if you still want to come listen to this, come on. We're gonna get you in there.
Okay, fair enough. From LABI's perspective, how big is today for setting the agenda for the upcoming legislative session? We're going to hear a lot from the gubernatorial candidates. That's kind of going to put things on a pace to where they might be the direction we might want to be headed. When we hear from Ted in just a little while, that's going to put things on the pace to where ideas might start to formulate for proposed legislation.
I think it's huge to set the agenda. And when I say set the agenda, I don't want people to misinterpret that. I'm not asking for people running for office to rubber stamp whatever lobby says. That's not what we're doing here. We're trying to raise awareness, raise expectations, destroy that culture of low expectations we've had in this state once and for all, and bury it deep, deep into the woods. We want an awakening this year. We want people to realize there's a tremendous opportunity. The South is booming. Term limits guarantee new leadership upstairs and downstairs in the Capitol.
Yep.
If we get the plan and we demand boldness, we are on the verge of some great, great wins in the next couple of years. And look, good ideas come from all shapes and sizes, all groups, all individuals. There's not one entity, lobby or anyone else, that owns all the answers. And so we're trying to get that awakening, get everyone involved, demand more of your elected officials this fall, and you will get more from them in the next term.
Did you watch the LSU basketball game last night?
No.
Parker Edwards went off, dude. He hit the first 2 baskets of the game, and then they pulled him.
Well, I saw they went up like 15-8 or something like that, and then all of a sudden
lost. I don't know what happened. You run with Parker
with
Edwards.
The hot hand.
You go with the hot hand. I don't know how you get away from the hot hand.
I mean, an athlete like that, you keep him on the floor. You get a thoroughbred, you let him run.
Well, it's not just a thoroughbred. It's where he comes from. So, St. Paul's guy.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah,
high school glory days. That's good.
Sir.
That's good.
Yes, sir. Back in the old Gene Bennett gym over there. He is Stephen Wagasback, president of LABI. We always appreciate a couple minutes, man. Looking forward to this panel.
It's going to be great. Thanks for being here today. You rock for being here. It's going to be awesome.
It's my pleasure. It's one of the days I look forward to more than any. He is Stephen Wagasback from LABI. We got a break for ABC News. Hour 2 coming your way next.